Hello, and welcome back. No! Welcome back, guys. Anime and beer. Long hiatus. I know you haven't seen my gorgeous face, but you've been looking at this guy's pretty mug for the past few weeks as he's been reviewing comics. Great stuff, by the way. If you haven't liked or subscribed, hit that like button. Subscribe, get notified, because guess what, guys? We're back at it again. Anime and beer. We talk about the latest manga, comics, anime. Fuck votes. Just kidding. Get out and vote, guys. Make a difference. Yes, we are here, guys. Back together again. Mr. Maple, black belt in anime. So crack open a cold one. Get ready to dive in. Today's topic, my friend.
Already cracked open.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. As you guys can see from this beautiful cover here, this is not a Last Ronin review, but it will be a TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja
Just the
Turtle
franchise
review.
in it. Yeah, the franchise in itself. Everything Ninja Turtle related.
Yeah, definitely. Now, if you hear some rattling in the back, today's laundry day, don't judge me. Gotta stay fresh.
We're still waiting for those stimulus checks to come in so we can buy our own studio, you know. But until then, you know, it's the apartment for now. The lighting is great. I'm a little fuzzy,
really great.
a little fuzzier, you know, than usual. But hey, no shave November, right? But no, man. Today's topic. No, cut it off. Anyway, so listen.
Hey, man, that's what gave me the idea for today's video.
That's the fire track.
I was just thinking about the Last Ronin.
one.
Like I said, this is not a Last Ronin review. Mm-hmm. Get out, buy the comic. If you can't
Spoilers
buy it,
are ahead.
Spoilers are ahead.
Spoilers are ahead.
We will be reverting back to this for reference and whatnot. But
yes.
I was listening to the theme song like on loop, and I'm like, dude.
And that's
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Shout out to Saturday morning cartoons, man. A lot of people don't know, like, you know, us 90s babies, man. They kind of, that was the franchise, like the TMNT series. I don't really know who wrote this one. I mean, I guess I can look it up real quick, but this one in particular is the 2003 series that was on For You Kids. Came on Saturday mornings, and that was kind of, I want to say, the first cartoon where the Turtles were really their individual selves. Mm-hmm. Like Leo,
they've always been an individual self, but I guess they got more character.
Well, there was definitely a lot of character development, is what I mean by that. Like, they really emphasized it, and they also really portrayed, like, the different colors of the Turtles. Like, they weren't all green and then have, like, different bandanas. Like, you know, unless you knew the color of the bandana. But I'm saying, like, they gave them all their own personality, I would say, in this one. This was kind of the first cartoon that gave them the first personality. Yes, Donnie's the tech. Mikey's the fun guy. Raph's always the first one to throw a punch, and Leonardo's the leader. And a lot of people that don't know, like, it's funny, like, kids are watching nowadays. Like kids that are watching our show and things like that, and even their parents joining in and things. Like, Last Ronin is definitely, like, for the 80s and 90s babies.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, we're going to get to that later, just kind of a full cap. I mean, you got a favorite turtle?
Donnie. I don't know. I just relate to Donnie. You know, he was the tech guy.
Yeah,
you know, the smart one, the one who always came up. He came up with the plan, but Leo...
He made a bow staff cool.
which is why I wanted to make this video, because I wanted to go into this whole story about why Donnie was my favorite.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's just a huge antidote as to...
You
said, it's Donnie.
He's the one in purple with the bow staff, you didn't know.
And a bow staff is like one of my favorite melee weapons. You lay out katanas, guns, I would probably be the person that picks up the bow staff. And the reason being, the bow staff, in my opinion, is the most badass weapon of the four.
You're right. You need another one?
More. This is the first one I had all day.
Oh, Lord.
But
a bow staff. Okay, so Donnie's the tech guy, the bow staff guy. But what drew you into Donnie, though? Like, what was the X factor, per se?
I related to the guy. You know, just tech savvy, just creating stuff.
Okay.
They're just on the fly, too. This man took a garbage truck and made...
Dude, I will admit, like, definitely, like, if I had a brother, turtle or not, if I had a brother that was MacGyver, because he was MacGyver. The guy was like, okay, give me this bottle, give me that can, and about 5 rolls of saran wrap. And he'd come back with a bazooka. I'm like, what did you do?
It's like, it made me think about, it makes you think about, which it was MacGyver. He just took random things and made something.
Right.
So when you think back on And this again is for this whole episode is probably going to be for the 90s kid. When you think about the show Kenan and Kel,
Yeah.
You remember at the end of every episode, he said, "I'm gonna need you to get me a sandwich,
Oh
some
yeah.
string, and 2 clowns, and meet me at Costco, sonny." Like he did some Costco. He just asked for
I
random
need you to get a baby doll, some glue, a laptop, and what are you? What? That's funny you say that.
But on the tangent, you remember the very last episode. Kel actually got all that stuff for him. He said, before we end the show, I got one thing for you. And they opened up the curtains. And Kenan was like, what is this? He said, this is everything you've ever asked for at the end of each episode. And he said, and at the end, he's like, well, I'm going to need you to bring all this and meet me. I can't remember when he said meet him. And he was like, Kenan, how am I supposed to move all this stuff? But back on track, Donnie, he definitely just took things and literally ran with it. There was... When they said, let your imagination run wild, that's exactly what he did.
He really did, man. I mean, he made the turtle tank or the battle truck. It shot sewage lids, manhole covers, which were hundreds of pounds in themselves, I believe.
And it was like their mobile command center.
Yeah, it was like their mobile command center. He built it all from scratch. He had every tech weapon. I mean, when they fought the Krang, he came up with weapons to fight aliens. Like, a lot of people sleep on Donnie. Oh, he's the nerdy guy. Well, yeah, you know what? You don't make millions of dollars being the meathead. Exactly. I mean, you can. I'm not saying you can't, but you get what I'm saying.
Not to mention, this guy made a bow staff. Just imagine it. And this is the story I wanted to tell. This is why I think the bow staff, him wielding the bow staff, is like one of the most badass things, because take me, yourself. Matter of fact, don't only take me. You're a bad guy. We're going to go the Batman route. You're a bad guy.
Okay.
You're with Q.
Okay.
Robert.
Okay.
We're going to throw Corey in there.
We'll throw Corey in there. Okay.
You're a bad guy.
Okay.
The henchman, you get your ass beat. You walk up to your boss.
Okay.
Q, what the fuck happened to you? I got my ass beat. I did nothing I can do, boss. He had 2 katanas.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that. Go home. Corey.
I think I know where this is going.
Corey, what the fuck happened to you? Boss, he was fast. He had 2 sides. He stabbed me in the leg, stabbed me in the arm. I was immobile. Go to the hospital. Robert, what happened to you? Boss, he had 2 nunchucks. I thought he was Bruce Lee. I don't know what happened. Well, this is why we give you the health insurance. Get out of here. Hey, Garrett, what happened to you? Boss, he had a stick. A stick?
Oh God!
Did he have? Was there a knife at the end of the stick? No.
It was just a stick. He was twirling it. What was it from Power Rangers? She had 2 sticks and it made a whistling noise.
It wasn't 2 sticks. It was 1 stick.
Did these sticks make a whistling noise? Yeah, kind of like nails on a chalkboard.
Like, what do you? I wouldn't even kill you as a. You're fired.
Yeah, I mean, but to be fair, a bow staff can be dangerous. Like, you can mess somebody up, and if not, you can. What's the Olympic sport? You can
javelin.
Not the javelin, the one where you stab it into the ground. And the pole.
High jump or something.
The high jump, but there's another one. Anyway, I mean, that's cool, but it's just. So Donnie's the relatable one for you.
Yeah, it's like you have katanas, nunchucks, and sides.
And I'm sorry,
then he comes up with a stick.
We keep saying the nicknames of the turtles, but we gotta be correct with it. Donatello, Michelangelo, Leonardo, Raphael, all named after famous Renaissance painters. So it's funny that Ninja, Mutant, Turtles. What are we going to name them, though? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, but what are their names? Like, can you imagine being in that conversation? What are we going to name them? Well, let's name one guy Chuck. Let's name another one Billy.
Bob.
We'll go with Bob, and we'll go with Kevin. No, we're not going to name him Kevin. And I never looked at the video or anything like that, but I'm interested to see, you came up with Renaissance painters. Like, it's such an original concept. Like, you can't, and I mean, you had Street Sharks and those weird frog things. Battletoad. And then you had the other ripoffs in the 90s. You had, although that one on Cartoon Network was Cat Troopers, the fighter, the cats in the fighter jets that were flying around and stuff.
I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. They were cats. You had Street Sharks, the frogs. I think there was biker mouses in outer space or something like that. There was some weird ones. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles really did a great job. My favorite Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We'll get to it. In this right here, we talk about it later on, but spoilers. Michelangelo. Dude, I related to him so much because he was the fun one. Like, yeah, he's badass. I'm badass. He knows how to fight. I know how to fight. He likes pizza. I like pizza. He likes skateboarding. I like skateboarding. He likes hanging out and chilling and having a good time. Like, that's it. And yeah, the nunchucks, come on. That's the most iconic martial arts tool. Yeah, Bruce Lee. What? Like, I was like, yo, he skateboards, eats pizza, and knows how to use nunchucks?
2 on top of that.
2! And I couldn't imagine, like, you know the back one, like they're going across the back?
Yep.
Bro, how does he get across the shell? How does he get across his shell? His arms aren't that long. How does he get across the shell?
Practice.
Like, you just sit there sometimes at night, like you'll be watching the cartoon sometimes, and he's like, I'm like, bro, his arms are not that long. Stop playing me. I know that shell. Stop playing me. Like, just things you think about, you know? Like, how does he get around the shell? And and you know what? People are gonna hate on me for it, and I was so relatable to Mikey because I relate to it a lot in jiu-jitsu. You have the competitors and the martial artists who are just live or die by the code.
Right.
And then you got guys that just want to have fun. Like, dude, we can beat each other up, but fucking crack a smile. I'm sorry you cut 30 pounds. No one told you to do that. You chose that. But, like, Mikey's just coming like that'd be me. I'm walking in. I got my gi, my belt. I'm walking in. I'm like, yo, you guys ready to turn up today?
Everybody just staring at you.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you guys
so... Who the fuck is this guy?
Who the fuck is that? No, like Mikey, dude, Mikey was fun. Mikey's that guy like you can literally count on at a party, and he does come in clutch sometimes. Like Mikey, when Mikey has to pop off, even in the original series, dude. I was actually watching the one after this one, the CGI one. Actually, my piggy bank, how they're modeled after on that. It starts off kind of, I'm not too crazy about it, but they're a little more kiddish in that one. They're a little more like teenagers in that one, but still solid, still very, very, very good. And Mikey actually just had a glow up in the series. And I was watching, it was just on his background noise the other day. And I was like, yo, Mikey literally like in that one, I don't know the name of that one. It was of the Nickelodeon series. If you guys know.
Like a recent one?
Not the new one where they're all like, where Raph's the size of a freaking NFL team linebacker. Like, no, no, the one right before that one, the CGI. And they're all the same size. They all look like but the only thing different about them is their bandanas. Their mask bandanas. They're like shorter, longer. Like Mikey's literally just ties up just like boop, like that. Like he's got the shortest one. And what I like about it is, and you know what too, is they never specify too, but apparently Mikey's the youngest. And nobody ever specified. They're just like, you're the youngest. Like
they did. I mean, because if you look at the different origins, they're all practically the same. You would just assume that when the eggs hatch, they all hatch together. But so I mean,
well, I kind of went on a tangent there, and what I was getting at was a lot of people are gonna hate me, but I liked the movies, the new movies. I liked them.
I liked them.
A lot of critics were kind of skeptical about it. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of were skeptical about the Power Ranger movie. It was just kind of like, personally, everybody I talked to loved it. But movie critics were like, eh. I was like, dude, I thought it was spot on because they portrayed the turtles well.
Look. Stop listening to movie critics. Stop. Everybody just stop listening. If you're a movie critic and you eventually watch this, I hate you. Because you just give... And Hollywood, my wife, when we watched the Food Network, bro, she hates watching the Food Network with me because I hate the way the judges judge. Like, food critics and movie critics are one and the same. They judge based off their personal preference.
Pretty much.
And I can't take your judgment based off your personal preference. Like, when you're watching the Food Network, your steak was dry, it was overcooked. I would be that guy at the end of the table, man. What the fuck you talking about?
Yeah. Like, put some A1 on it. Oh my god. No, I know exactly what you mean.
Enough brown sauce?
Yeah. To piggyback off of that, is like, look at the different beers we brought to the show. everybody has a preference. You know what I mean? My mom's a chef too, so I know exactly where you're coming from on that. And the thing is too is like, man, like they were good movies. And what's it about? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You do not, and I think people wanted it to be extras as hell. Like they wanted it to be like this glorified thing. No, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Well, the thing about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and this could be seen as a positive or negative, depending on how you look at it. All people know is the origin story. People don't read the comics and whatnot, so a writer or director making a movie can't say, "Oh well, let me go into my box of comics and see what can I write about," because no one is gonna know.
Well, I feel
Nobody's
like
gonna understand.
I feel like
they have to revert.
It's an old system. It's an old system. That's what I'm saying. They need to update it because I mean, who's to say like like they're doing their job wrong? It's just what they're given. Like here's 10 things. If it doesn't meet the check the box. If it meets what we need. If not, carry on. I liked the movies.
I liked the movies.
And you know what? I thought it was dope. And we got the Krang, we got Shredder, of course. We got Casey Jones, we got April O'Neil, we got
Bebop and Rocksteady.
We got Bebop and Rocksteady in the second movie. Like, come on, man, they hit all the nails on the head.
But at the same time, where I'm getting at with my point is, besides Shredder, besides Bebop and Rocksteady, name another villain. I mean, you can name another villain.
I could, okay,
but I can't.
So here's the thing. All right, so in the old 80s, 90s series, the old cartoon one, it was definitely very, very, very cliche heroes and villains kind of story. They were all. It was like every episode, Shredder had toxic ooze that the turtles came from. And the mutagen, and he literally just tossed a human being and an animal in it like every other episode.
He did.
And that was the books. The books at my elementary school had those. I would these little badass kids were coloring in them. But yeah, that was before you had to pay for books, kids. Now your parents have to pay for everything. So don't mess things up at school. So I would pick up every book, and it was like a different. It was like a different story, but same concept. And I feel like that's where the old series kind of fell off. It was just super, super repetitive. But at the same time, during those 90s eras, you had the Justice Friends, the Legion of Doom. You had Batman's Adventures, which was great. But still repetitive. Every episode, villain, hero, villain, hero, villain, hero, villain, hero, villain, hero. The one I was talking about when we introduced the show, the theme song I was playing for a brief moment. No, I do not own any rights or copyrights to it. That was kind of the first Ninja Turtle series that you got character development within the Turtles. That's what I mean by it. You didn't get that before, and even that kind of made the movie great. If you haven't watched the movie, great family movie. Cut it on with you and the kids. Cut it on for if you want to if you're interested to see it. The newer ones, what was it, 2016 it came out, and I watch it. And I was like, dude, these are the Ninja Turtles. This is it. And when they sneak out, like teenagers, they're sneaking out, and then they get back, and Master Splinter's like, where were you? We were here the whole time, Dad. We were here the whole time. Don't lie to me.
He knew.
He knew. He was being a dad. He was being a dad. And that's the funny part about it. Like, you can relate. You what did you do when you were a teenager? You snuck out. You broke the rules a little bit. You get home. You're like, they're tiptoeing in. And, they did the iconic, every kid is messed up. I don't care who you are. You're not perfect. But the iconic, where were you at? What did you do? You're grounded, and you're going to be punished. And he had them doing the most ridiculous thing. They were, juggling. One of them was juggling something and standing, on a stool with one leg. One of them was doing a handstand on a desk chair while it's spinning around a circle. I think that was Mikey. Another one was jumping through hoops of fire, and Master Splinter's like, you need to tell me, what did you do? And this can all be over. And then he literally turns to each turtle and he turns to Mikey. This is just it, because I
think that's where that he was the youngest.
Yeah,
that kind of plays on. The youngest will always tell.
The youngest will always tell. And he whips out this cheese pizza, and it's funny because I think Donnie comments on it. He goes, the 5 cheese pizza. And he's naming all the cheeses to Mikey, and Mikey's sitting there shaking, he's like, oh like on upside down, and he goes, "You want me to name the cheeses, Mikey? Mozzarella, cheddar, Gouda," and like Donnie's in the back. They don't even make 5 cheeses like that on pizza. Like, and he snitches. He goes. He ends up snitching, and they're like, "Mikey!" He goes, oh, "Just give me 1 slice." Doesn't get a slice. Like Splinter's beating them all up. Like disciplines them. Like it's an iconic moment because that just each turtle you're giving them their own individuality, and that was what was cool about the Ninja Turtles. You didn't get that with a lot of other shows. I know you know, if you guys haven't, check out our other shows. He's been doing great with his comic book reviews. Check out the Power Rangers.
Speaking of like Resolve, like when you said a lot of the shows piggyback off of that, going to Tangent, we're known as the Tangent Crew.
Tangent Squad!
Tangent Crew. Zordon gets that now.
Oh!
In Mighty Morphin, him and Billy are talking, and Zordon just tells Billy like his time on Eltar and stuff and the things he used to do, and I'm like, we never got that. It was just cool. A head in a tube who says, do this. I think you should do this. Very repetitive. Yeah, but in the comics, it's like the writer is giving Zordon a personality.
So, and like, we're going to get into Last Ronin, guys. I know it's a beautiful comic, great concept, definitely leaves you on a big cliffhanger. But, we're going to get to it eventually. But just like I said, we're going into the Turtles. And where was I at before? I forgot. The originality of the Turtles. And, you didn't get that in the older generations. You're getting it in the new generations. Like, hey, we need to give these guys personality. They're teenagers.
Yeah.
Teenagers are personal people. They have they're, like, Mom, screw you! Like, they have emotions. They don't know how to deal with them yet. Mm-hmm. But, hell, I'm 27. I don't know how to deal with mine. But, but that's the whole thing. You had to give them personality traits, and then we started to see Raph with the attitude, the bad boy. We started to see Leo leading, like he was the oldest per se, and they were like, Master Splinter entrusted him and told him a lot of wisdom and a lot of traits and a lot of things that he needed to be.
And told him why.
Actually,
I think there's a time he actually goes through like all his brothers and says, Leo goes to him and like, why do I have to lead?
I remember that old movie. That movie.
And Splinter tells
the one
him,
that didn't take off. The other CGI movie. Yeah.
And he tells him like, Donatello is good, but this. Mikey is good, but this. Raph is good, but this. But you have this, and this.
And anyway, and kind of that way was kind of that might have, I don't know. But that might have been like the idea, the concept of Last Ronin was when Leo, because that was actually referenced in the old stuff. That was referenced in a lot of the TV shows, and I don't know if there's an older comic book series, but Leo was questioning his leadership. It was great character development. Leo actually...
He even did it in the old live action
movies. Old live action movies. Mm-hmm. They did it in the CGI movie, because they went all the way to South America to get him. Yep. He was like off on his own. And, Leonardo was just kind of... And plus, you're the one with swords, dude. Come on, like that... Like, a samurai doesn't follow, he leads. And...
It's always the one with the sword.
It's always the one with the sword. This time, they didn't pick the orange guy. I'm just saying. This time, they didn't pick the orange guy. But, it was a great... It was good. It's still good. It's still great.
It is.
I'll go back and watch it all the time.
Which is why I think they're coming back to it. I just feel like with comics now, they're listening. They're paying attention.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
But,
critics.
Add what people want
Assholes.
to it.
Pieces of shit. What did you say?
Yeah. Don't listen to them. If somebody comes to you and says something isn't good, I'm the type of person I want to see for myself. If I told you the Last Ronin,
unless it's anime, you need to give him a full synopsis of what it is. Don't lie to these people. Do not lie to them.
I didn't lie. I'm not going to lie.
You literally got to give a 8-page book report.
Because not only are you telling me to watch something that's sometimes, in most cases, already complete, but it has 200 plus episodes.
I know what you're saying.
In subbed.
Okay. For my
it
anime,
doesn't come in dubbed. You gotta give me something because my Byakugan is already activated watching this. And if I'm activating it and this is corny, I'm gonna be mad.
I'll put it to you this way, guys. Everybody in our group chat that we have, our Anime and Beer group chat, has watched Hunter x Hunter. or read the manga or both when it dropped or when it was popular. It took me 2 years to get this guy to even look in its direction. But once again, it's just an opinion. You know what I mean? Like Ninja Turtles, people are like, I wasn't too crazy about it. But even learning a fun fact or two today might be like, okay, that's actually kind of cool. I might have to check it out. And when you go to conventions and you see Ninja Turtle conventions in like 80s and 90s, like retro things, you see a Ninja Turtle thing and it might be the smallest thing in the corner. But when you ever walk up to a Ninja Turtle stand or anything Ninja Turtle merch, adults and kids, their eyes light up.
Yeah, you don't see it every day.
You don't see it every day.
And I'm just gonna 10 times out of 10. When you go to, you're going to see things. You're going to see old things.
Yes.
You're not going to see up-to-date things. I mean, up-to-date things mean you can go on Walmart right now and buy it. You're going to see things that you didn't know exist as far as like merchandise goes. Now you're going to see like action figures and toys and stuff that when you see the price tag, you're going to be like, yeah, no.
Even at the comic book shops, when the newer CGI cartoon dropped, they came out with like custom piggy banks of each individual turtle. I saw at Coastal Comics before, a long time ago. I think I went with you and Ben one time.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and they were.
That was like that one time that we went.
Yeah,
and the guy was closing.
Yeah, the guy was closing. Yeah, well, that's when you were putting me on Green Lantern. And, and go watch those channels, guys. Go watch his comic book reviews of the Power Rangers and the Green Lantern. It's really, really good stuff I didn't even know. And for all my older crowd and everything like that, definitely check it out. But, to also talk about the comic books and when the Ninja Turtles were first come to be, I looked it up today, and I knew his name, but I didn't know the origin. And Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, who published them for the first time, 1984. Published him, and I knew this part because the Fox Kids or the 4Kids TV did this episode, the crossover platform episode, where they had each individual turtles, and they also illustrated that series as well. Was the first time they did a cross dimensions of all their different turtles. The first Ninja Turtles that were ever written and drawn were in black and white, and they actually murdered people. They were actually killing villains. A lot of people didn't know that. They kill Shredder in the original black and white comic, like in the old manuscript. Yeah, they literally run up on him and they're like, nah, we about to smoke. And the original artwork, have you ever seen it? The original artwork for them?
No, I haven't. This
is zoom in on. I'm showing him, guys, but it's kind of hard to see. But that's how they originally looked. They all looked mean and gritty, and it was all black and white. That's how the original comic book was. And, then they started getting color. Then we had to give them their own personalities. Like, it was, in my opinion, it was the first franchise that kind of evolved characters to adapt to that generation. But even still, I think even I've been a critic on Ninja Turtle series. And then I start to watch it, and I'm like, dude, this is really good. Like, the one that they shared to the group chat, definitely referenced some anime. And, they were flash stepping and doing after image techniques. Dude. That went so hard, and now I gotta find that series and watch it. I was like, this artwork's whack. Here I am being a critic on myself. This artwork's whack. Those aren't the turtles. This is whack. Dude. This is stupid. This is bull. And then I saw that clip, and I was like, excuse me? Where were you during the Tournament of Power? First of all, because Goku would not have gone into Ultra Instinct.
Wouldn't have had the time.
Wouldn't have the time. Dude, it was really, really good. And I was like, oh my god, it's fucking awesome. I was stoked. I was stoked when I saw that clip. And you know what? For something to reference, oh my gosh, for something to reference anime in such a iconic pop culture franchise, you can't talk about the 80s and 90s and early 2000s as a kid without mentioning the Ninja Turtles at least one time.
Okay, and to piggyback off that, it's they've already stamped their mark on everything. It's You know, you like you said, you got the piggy banks, lunch boxes. You got the TV show.
I got a piggy bank in the car.
They're in what, Mortal Kombat.
Yes, I forgot about that. They are all of them.
Like in
all of them.
Not the last Mortal Kombat, but I think the one maybe before that.
Because I think in this one they put a lot of the slasher flicks in it, but the one before that or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have like a team move that goes hard. It's
That's
like
what I'm saying, dude.
A 4-man like assault, and yeah, dude, it's like
so good.
It's safe to say that you mentioned things like Battletoads and Street Sharks. I mean,
Battletoads.
Yeah,
that's what they were.
Yeah, they've made an impact. Yeah, they were cool. Yeah, they were awesome. But it's like you said, when you talk about nostalgia and pop culture, and you tell someone to make a list of somebody to make a list of things they watched during the 80s and 90s as a kid, Ninja Turtles will honestly come before Battletoads and Street Sharks, and then
like if
you can't bury them.
You can't bury them. Even if you're in a group of people, even if it's not on their list, like if it's not on mine and yours list, it's gonna be on somebody's, and vice versa.
But
somebody's gonna clip.
Even if it's not on their list and someone brings it up, we're gonna know what they're talking about.
Oh, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be a chain reaction.
Like I just know Battletoads and Street Sharks, but I don't know Battletoads and Street Sharks.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Ninja Turtles,
boy, we can be. We're here. We're doing it. We're doing it. And that's the thing, dude. Like, I mean, you have movies, video games, merchandise. I was actually trying to find my Ninja Turtle shirt today to wear for this grand occasion. And you know what though too, I gotta say about the Ninja Turtles, even if you haven't watched them, or you've come across them, or you've glanced at them, I've never heard a negative thing about it. To this day, I have not heard a negative thing about the Ninja Turtles themselves. Maybe about a movie or maybe about a cartoon, like I just said. But I'm saying, like, I never heard anyone say, like, that's stupid.
Yeah, like, I don't like Raph, or
yeah, like that's friggin' half the fan base. Who's your favorite turtle? Raph. We can go into Walmart right now as a social experiment. Ninja Turtles, do you know? Yeah, who's your favorite? Raph. I guarantee 90% of that store will say Raph. 5% will probably say Leonardo. The next will say Michelangelo, and then Donnie. That's, and everybody craps on Donnie, but no, he's the freaking MacGyver turtle. Screw you. You're over here worried about, you like Raph because he has a temper problem? No, screw that. He'd be the last one I take out in public. It's like when he went rogue for a little bit and he was going around on the motorcycle and stuff and he confronted Casey and everything. Like that, I like how they made that into the movie and into the comics too. But it's like Leo confronts him and he's like in a leather black suit and everything like that, and like Leo confronts him and like he goes, "How'd you know it was me?" He goes, "Dude, you're a turtle." He goes, "Yeah, but I'm in a disguise." He goes, "Yeah, you look like a giant turtle in a disguise." He's like, "How many giant turtles are walking around New York, bro?"
Let's not forget, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Mikey, his obsessive love for April.
No, they change it. This time around, it's Donnie. And then, I know what you're talking about. There was a point where Mikey's like, "Hey," like in the old 90s movie, it was Mikey. Well, then they kind of wanted Dawn to have in the limelight. So then they kind of referenced Dawn, and then, of course, we all know she ends up with Casey. But
of course, because
yeah, we're not getting into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like they go in to do that, and it's just kind of just the comic relief. Yeah. They kind of use Dawn and Mikey as the comic relief, which is what we are. We're the comic relief for anime and beer. Like everybody who's serious all the time. Jeez.
And what else I was going to point out? Not to mention the. Of course, you can't talk about Ninja Turtles. Some people will argue with you about this. The fifth member of the Ninja Turtles. I forgot her name.
I forgot her name too, but she wore light blue. Yeah. I'm gonna look it up right now while he's talking. Go ahead.
I don't know much about her. I just had to make sure I bring her up because I didn't want anybody to watch the video and be like, "Oh, you didn't bring up what's her face."
You're good.
Like, "Oh, you have to bring her up. You're not Ninja Turtle fan."
I know. Guys, we do this a lot on the fly, but you know what? We got a supercomputer in our hands, so it's okay. I am a fan. I mean, we talk about it. I mean, like, we look it up, we do our research. It just is the name of the game, and I mean, you can't.
And even still, a lot of times, and this is just for future reference. If we don't mention it, we know about it. It just wasn't exciting enough for us to mention it. But we'll do it as an honorable mention.
Her name is Venus.
Venus, okay.
Venus de Milo is a fictional character within the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise. She first appeared in the television series, and that was a cool series too. They did the night where they were in the suits. Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation. There, she was portrayed by Nicole Parker. Shout out to Nicole Parker, and voiced by Liliana Lindberg. Okay, so she was mutated, and she was experienced. So, she was getting trained by the other turtles. She was an apprentice shinobi. She was training to become a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah,
I could see what I don't know. I mean, like I know a lot of cartoons, and I was actually talking about this with Robert. Shout out to Robert in our group chat. A lot of franchises, a lot of ideas fall off just because it doesn't sell. It doesn't sell to the market. And I'm assuming with something like that from the 90s, I remember it coming on Fox Kids, and I did watch it. It's the Ninja Turtles. But the thing was, it was like, if it's not, I emphasize this enough with a lot of things, but certainty of things. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Well, I think they were just trying to draw in, and this is just my opinion.
They wanted a female audience.
A female audience.
They wanted well, that's what I'm saying. But if it's not, I know little girls right now that are like, Ninja Turtles! My favorite's Mikey, he eats pizza. Literally. Mm-hmm. Probably going to be my niece in the next 5 years because I'm cutting that on. So like that's what I'm saying is if it's not broke, don't fix it. The little girls and little boys are already stoked. They're Ninja Turtles. Mm-hmm. You can go out in the pond right now and pick up a turtle. The kids are going to be like, oh, can I touch it? Like, come on. It's turtles. So like I know what you mean. So I'm assuming it fell off because they were just reaching.
I think so. Like all of a sudden, like she was there, and then the next moment she was gone with like no explanation.
A lot of other TV shows have done that, and like my thing is like man, like the original 4, man, you can't go wrong with it. And Master Splinter being the GOAT, they made him a badass as the shows progressed too, as a mentor. Mm-hmm. When they did that 4 Kids series, when they went into like they literally went into like a tournament of power.
Yeah. And
Master Splinter was a champion. Who was watching them damn turtles? Who was watching them babies?
Just watching them damn selves.
Who was watching them damn turtles?
Well,
how they portray it was he did all this and then found the turtles.
Again, no, he was with the turtles from day one.
No, the way the series portrayed it.
Oh
yeah,
I was about to say because I was going to say to answer your question. I haven't read the comics. I just know what I know from watching the shows and the movies and stuff. But the way that they did one origin story,
they keep changing their origin.
And this was going to be the answer to your question. It was going to be just a funny story. Actually, Splinter, in spoiler alert for The Last Ronin, the way they did the origin story, a cat tried to eat one of the turtles after the lab blew up and stuff and whatnot. The cat tried to eat one of the turtles, and Master Splinter whooped the cat's ass, and he passes out, and then he wakes up in the sewer. So my theory is the cat took them to the sewer. But to answer your question, I think he called the cat to become babysit.
Dipped it in the ooze. You're a cat baby now. I know exactly what you mean. It was like a lot of different ones too. The way the CGI cartoon portrayed it was Master Splinter actually how they did to backtrack off the 90s cartoon, and if I remember correctly, Master Splinter had a pet rat. He fell into the ooze with his rat, and that's how he mutated into the rat. Then in the cartoon series that this was about, the one we kind of grew up with in the early 2000s, 4 Kids one, Master Splinter was, because it all ties into Shredder. Master Splinter's master, he was his pet rat. Mm-hmm. And then he like, because rats are smart, he started like shadow boxing in his little cage, like while his master was training. And then he saw Shredder kill his master, and he remembered it, and then found the ooze, and then very exaggerated story, but
well, more spoiler. We're gravitating towards the comic,
but they keep changing it.
The way they do it,
I see why they keep falling. No, I'm just kidding.
The way they do it here, the Turtles were turtles. Master Splinter was a rat in a lab. Shredder.
That's just a safe route.
Shredder was trying to, if I remember correctly, Shredder was trying to create the mutagen to create super soldiers. Splinter gets his name from
Now would be the time to do that.
the splitting of something.
They explain
so Splinter was genetically made smart.
So he was the first super soldier in this origin?
Yes.
Oh.
And the way they become human humanoids was the mutagen. So Splinter was a science experiment, which is why he's so smart, but it took the mutagen is the reason why he grew big and was able to walk and stuff like that. So he was already smart from the science experiments. And then
I kind of like it. It sounds dark. It sounds eerie. It sounds like someone becoming human, and sounds like an iRobot Terminator thing kind of happened.
Yep. So that's what happened. Shredder had nothing to do with the creation of it. He wanted it, and they were creating that in the lab. So he had the Foot Clan break into the lab, which led to a whole bunch of stuff, which is the epic explosion and stuff like that. But like you said, they keep changing it, so yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's no really solid origin, I would have to say, other than, like, what the writers say, and they fell in a vat of ooze, and that's that. And so, like, the thing was, like, you know, that's the ooze. Like, let's be honest, TMT 1 and TMT 2, the original 90s movies, go Ninja, go Ninja, go! Go Ninja, go Ninja, go! He didn't get sued for that song. He didn't get sued for that one at all. Like, that was pretty good. And, like, man, they were breakdancing in the club and everything. And
but not to mention, like, the epic scene, because the way they learned to fight. In the old movie, a old karate magazine fell down the sewer. And Master Splinter.
I remember that. They have referenced that in the cartoon too, because when Splinter was the pet of the Master, he got away, but like found the Ninshu books and was like reading the books.
Yeah, that's what it was. Splinter's master liked, like, he was a martial artist, but he also liked watching martial arts movies and stuff. So that's how he learned.
Yes, and that was a thing too. Is like you have this one, you have the original Ninja Turtle. This is what I was talking about. So you have this one here. This is the one we kind of grew up with. This is the TMNT 2003. TMNT, the original title song. This one, this is 7 years old. Dang, I didn't realize it was that old. The 90s cartoon, and you know, like I don't know how the newer ones go. That's the movie we were talking about from before, where they go to find Leo and he was questioning his leadership. And that's the thing, man. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Shell Shock with Juicy J. That soundtrack, Shell Shock, Juicy J. Juicy got the orange Lamborghini, called it Michelangelo. I was like, what? I'm jamming to this. Like, what?
Oh man.
I was sitting there jamming, and I was like, okay. All right, and I had my Ninja Turtle rash guards too. I still got to get a black belt one, but I had my Ninja Turtle rash guards, and I was like, man, go Ninja, go Ninja, go Ninja. So, I mean, the franchise in itself has definitely evolved and adapted. I mean, we're talking about it in 2020, and it came out in 1981. So definitely, I mean, as far as franchises go, if you want to argue it, it's probably one of, if not the longest, like pop culture. Maybe like besides My Little Pony or something, or Care Bears. It's probably why they came up with TMNT. Now that I think about it, but probably one of the longest franchises.
It's not going. I'm telling you, it's not. And then with this new comic out, I mean, this comic right here was talked about for ever since like last year, and
Mhm.
pre-orders were available.
Dude, my
ever
phone's
since
the
then.
my home screen on my phone's the fan artwork here. This is a fan artwork
That's
right
dope.
here.
So it's
I mean, so we're gonna let's dive into Last Ronin. I think these guys have been sitting here staring at this beautiful artwork here long enough, and I think we need to give it to them.
all right.
All right, guys. So here we are. You've been waiting. You've been patient. The Last Ronin.
Fade to black.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down.
I think that'll probably be the first time we get a thumbs
We
down.
get a thumbs down for sure. So the Last Ronin. It takes place post-apocalyptic.
Post-apocalyptic
New York. Manhattan.
to be exact. Yeah.
For all my New York people out there.
The villain is. I don't remember.
I remember. I know who he is.
He is the
It's Shredder's
grandson.
Shredder's grandson.
But the son of some chick I don't remember.
Well, I think she's added to the story. But shout out to Variant Comics. I did like your comic book review. I do love your work. Hopefully we can collab one day. But you know that's great. And I remember specifically is the turtle. You know, he's talking to himself, and he hears.
You think he's talking to himself.
You think he's talking to himself. And it's a post-apocalyptic world. And the turtle, as you can see here on the front cover, I'll kind of push it up to the screen for you guys. As you can see, he has all the weapons of his fallen brothers, including his own. And I'm not going to say it. We're going to get to the punchline here. And so the thing is, in this future, I mean, it's been ruled by Shredder's grandson. The Manhattan River is toxic sludge. It is polluted. It is gross. It is disgusting.
Definitely harmful to
A human.
And that actually plays that right there. That sentence alone right there kind of plays into. When you read it, you will see. Well, not even when you read it, but yeah, when you read it, you will see. But
Definitely a great one to own, guys, for sure.
Was able to just walk through,
through it, swim through it, gets up, and there's this huge wall barricading Manhattan, and you got to jump this wall, and there's cameras, but the cameras are facing in, and you know it's not necessarily to keep people out; it's to keep people in.
Yeah.
Gets in, works his way towards the main tower, bumps into a character that has a similar last name of Jones. Casey Jones, we don't know, was never mentioned. Goes to find Shredder's grandson.
We find out that is the reason for all their deaths.
Yes, and as this turtle is approaching, he is major PTSD, maybe even some schizophrenia. But you know, it's a comic book, and my whole thing is he's approaching, he's getting closer. Villains, you know, are recognizing him. You know, sentient.
These AI,
synthetic, Foot Clan,
robots
are fighting him, and he's beating the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then he realizes they're kind of organic too, which plays a part into the ooze and the mutation and everything like that. Because before, when they were beating up Foot Clan members all these years, besides like the old original, they were cyborgs. They were androids created by Dr. What's his name? The black dude. Baxter. He's the one that was in the original series, the cartoon, and they kind of needed a doctor like to manipulate the ooze and mutate people. I think Dr. Baxter. And even though he's not in this, all of his science and everything's clearly left behind. You can tell. You can tell. Because that's all he was used for was his science. So, long story short, this turtle, he's talking to himself, but he hears his fallen dead brothers, you know, like, what's the plan? What's the move?
What are you going to do? How are you going to get out of this?
What's
your next step?
And he's talking back to these voices, and what I love about the artwork in this too is the backdrop behind him is like the other brothers, but you can't tell who they are.
Yeah,
it's all fuzz on the TV. There's no color.
The brothers don't have mask, but his mask is black. Of course, he's carrying all their weapons, so you really can't.
You still can't know.
And he's not using any specific weapon. If he does, you might say, "Oh, it's him because he's really good with that weapon."
He does chain off the weapons a lot as well.
He uses other weapons,
which I love how they did that. Like, and they did in each clip. You know, he's doing one, the other, and the other.
You literally do not know who this Ronin is. I figured out who it was based on context clues because as the brothers talk to him, they say certain things.
And if you're
throughout the story,
we're not going to go to that, but exactly. And I love how the writers did that. And if you're a true Ninja Turtle fan, and if you've already read the comic, laundry's done. And if you've read the comic, but it's really, really good how they chained it together. I loved how they did it. And I honestly, but before we started filming, I really loved how you spotted that out in the context. And it was just kind of like the dialogue there. It was like, okay, well, it's not this one. It's not this one. It's not this one. It has to be this one. And so we're going through and we're reading the stories and we're going through the dialogue. And, he's, of course, approaching the bad guy. And, of course, Shredder, kill the turtles! His grandson, kill the turtles! So,
doing the also famous, if he's not dead, then I'm going to kill you type thing to his
and it was also
which I never understood. No, I'm going on a tangent about that. Because Lord Zed does it in the Power Ranger comics. And Rita does it.
Lord, here we go.
Why? And anything, the only villain that's never done it, and I respect him for that, is Claw from Inspector Gadget. He just ain't always in it. I'm going to get you, Gadget. You know what? You don't have to threaten your henchmen. I mean, I know you get respect from fear, but damn it, I mean, come on.
How did
I'm going to kill you.
Wait, another side tangent. How did he? They never explained how he got the claw.
His hand got crushed.
What a bitch ass villain.
Well, he was already a villain, but his hand got crushed by something that Inspector Gadget did before he became.
That was another one that fell off too, and that was still during the TMNT era. But anyway, back to the story here. And so, this turtle is just on a mission, going through all the boxes and checking them off. What I want to know too is as it's Shredder's grandson, his mom's in kind of a cryogenic, and I wonder what that's about. I wonder if I kind of look back at it. I wonder if she was exposed to something and he was hoping that the mutagen would help her, or maybe something with the technology of the future would help her, and that's also probably why the city's sealed off. You don't just put your mom in a cryogen and then seal off Manhattan.
Cryogen means you're trying to preserve something. You're trying to keep something alive.
That's what I'm saying. So if she's in that, what's the issue? And you're in the future, and I'm pretty sure if you're making all these sentient beings out of this technology, also too, guys, this is in the comic book as well, I need more. I just need more. It was such a good comic. I need more. I need more.
The first issue.
It's only the first issue. It came out when? It's November
last week.
5th today. It came out right before Halloween. Mm-hmm. It came out like 2 days before Halloween, and I've been waiting on this. My best friend here got a copy. He was hoping to pick up one for me, but hey, it is what it is. I don't have a copy, so definitely had to research my own. But no. So here comes the punchline, guys.
Well, according to Victor, it's supposed to be a 5-issue series, so did not know that. I thought it was going to be something ongoing, but just a little.
But the punchline to this issue, is, of course, the turtle goes up and fights his way through all the bad guys, making his way to Shredder's grandson.
Almost gets there,
right. And then Baku, or Mikey says in the old series, Booyakasha! You gotta watch it. I swear, yeah, I know. Or Cowabunga. But no, this turtle didn't say that. And this turtle basically, he gets tackled out of the building, right? And then slammed down to the ground. He's bleeding. He's been stabbed. He's beat to a bloody pulp.
Oh, we're going to take a step back.
Oh, sorry. Take a step back.
Because where you're about to head to, kind of, you have to know this.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
While there's a time where he decides to get into the building, and his brothers are like, well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to get inside the building?
Mm-hmm.
He steals a motorcycle.
That's right.
Who we find out is the Jones girl, who are punk bikers, I guess you can say.
Some grunge rockers, some cranberries, if you don't know, look them up.
Steals her motorcycle and pretty much uses it to blast his way up into the building.
That's what it is.
And so, you got to get that out to wait to understand this next part.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, they just want the juicy, gritty stuff.
Yeah.
Trust me, I don't have the equipment for all this stuff later on.
So he gets blasted out the window fighting the last guard and lands down. He's a bloody pope. And again, not even again because we didn't even mention it. This is pretty much, this first issue is just, matter of fact, this whole story is just a revenge story. The Turtle's just trying to get revenge on the person who killed his family. And so he's laying in the streets, bloodied up. He's like, I can't do this, you know, it can't end this way. So the police, the patrol group comes and is like, hey, where is he? He fell here. The Jones girl is like, he ran that way. To turn them from where he actually went.
I forgot she did that. That's my bad, guys.
And she follows his trail. Well, I stopped you before you got to that part. Because you got to understand.
I knew there was a gap I was missing. Yeah. I was just trying to zero in.
So she follows his trail of blood, and you find out that he is about to perform. Set to go to.
Suicide.
Yeah, but the Japanese term for it. So he lays out all his brother's weapons. He lays out all their masks, all four masks. So you still don't even know who he is. And I believe she stops him before he does it.
No, he passes out. He passes out from all the blood loss he already had from fighting. Yep. He passes out, and this is where the kicker comes in. He wakes up in kind of like a hospital bed. Mm-hmm. Sealed away.
Not sure if it's before or after I mean, you can probably safely say it's after the events of what he went through.
No, it is. He got the shit kicked out of him, because he got stabbed and beat up, and I think got shot.
But see, now the question is, if that's the case, and the Jones girl was already there, how much does she already know?
Well,
to take him to a hospital, which we know that if this guy is after the Turtles, this hospital or this room can't be anywhere that can be easily found.
That's what I'm saying. It's hidden away. He wakes up in a hospital bed, hooked up to all these machines, and fluids are plugged into him. And he's coming to. He wakes up, and who do we get aiding to him? April O'Neil. And if you don't know who April O'Neil is, and you're a Ninja Turtles fan or just in general, you know the reason why we all liked redheads growing up.
She was. April O'Neil to the Ninja Turtles, kind of like what Shia LaBeouf was to the Transformers. She was kind of like that voice. So like, wow,
she was their sister.
Yeah, they had but you know, she was their street connect. Kind of like we can't roam the street and just get information unless it's at night. So April had to be
the old '90s movie. Just piggybacking off that. Sorry, I just like how when they first meet April, she goes, "So what do you guys eat?" And Mikey goes, "You know, bugs, flies, mud." No, I'm just kidding. We like pizza.
So, piggyback off of that, when the pizza man comes and tries to deliver the pizza,
that's the most iconic Ninja Turtle scene ever.
And he's like, "You're not paying for that."
He's like, "No, you're 30 minutes late." But the final part, guys, here to the Last Ronin, and we appreciate you tuning in this far. But he's sitting in the bed. We have the OG, old April O'Neil, confronting him. Mm-hmm. He's asking where he's at. April, is that you? What happened? You're pretty beat up. And the punchline here is, guys, Michelangelo's the Last Ronin! I told y'all! I told all of y'all! Yes, it's Michelangelo! Michelangelo's sitting in the bed, beat up, incoherent of what's going on, and here he is, guys, reunited with April O'Neil, the fun-loving, pizza fanatic, skateboarding little brother. It's sad, but it's Michelangelo.
You did the same thing when I texted you. Like, you were excited, and I'm like,
He did text me.
Like, oh, jeez.
So, thank you guys for tuning in so far, but, like, it's Michelangelo. No one expected it to be Mikey. It's too predictable to be Leo. It's too predictable to be Raph. Donnie honestly, Donnie probably would have had some badass equipment and none of them would have got killed. But Michelangelo.
And not even that. Now I have to go back and read the comics to figure out how that happened. Now my question is this one of those comics where because we know they were killed, we have to go back and read comics? Or is it one of those comics where he just tells us we killed them and there's no comics explaining that?
Well, if it's true that it's a 5-part series, then we're going to get the deaths. We're going to get the origin story of that. But I think the biggest selling issue was who is the last turtle. And, you know, now that I've said it was Mikey, my home screen on my phone here. Right there. Michelangelo. Love you, bud. Sorry, you had to be the funny one. Deal with all the pain, but that's what comics do. They twist your heartstrings.
It's things like that that really that pointed the finger. I mean, I know you say it wasn't that. I felt like it was.
I mean, I didn't say it wasn't that predictable. I agreed that it was predictable, but everybody wanted. I think this is where the Mikey fans got to stand up because we never got to see a serious Mikey. We never did. And what darker and more efficient way to bring Mikey in than murder all the brothers but him? You're the one that nobody expects, and I relate to this a lot.
You're making the one who made everybody laugh be so serious,
and that's what's scary. Great, but entertainment, interested, like I'm hooked because what he had to witness. You know, it's one thing being a hard ass your whole life.
It's not really witnessing it. He went through everything, but it's to be the only one to stand up.
I think my prediction for the next issue is when they go into whatever issue of the deaths of the turtles. I definitely think because they all fight together unless they absolutely have to fight alone. And my thing is, I think Mikey was the one or two things I think happened, and I've been pretty right with my predictions.
Mm-hmm.
I've been pretty accurate, and what I'm thinking they're doing as far as the market goes. I think they were, they're telling Mikey to get the fuck out. Or Mikey got his ass rocked and they literally just thought all the turtles were dead. And they just left him there.
Oh, based off the comic, because I forgot the villain's name in the comic, but he even said, I thought I killed all of them.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's why I said, it's not really...
But that simple scenario being set up, that's the question for the next issue when it comes out. So, my friends, closing thoughts here. Do you think the Ninja Turtles are making a comeback?
My final thought, Ninja Turtles never really left.
Boom! There you go, guys.
We're just getting fresh content.
We're just getting fresh content. Refresh that Facebook page. We ain't going nowhere.
They never left.
But closing out, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. The Last Ronin, the Ninja Turtles, hell, 90s babies. You know what I'm talking about. 80s babies. Y'all cool too. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, guys. Wait. I got something. I lied. Hold on, I got something.
MC Mikey. MC Ricky.